What is going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it is time to talk about Dragon Ball Super Episode 56. Before I get into the review, I just want to quickly mention that the Seven Deadly Sins, weird, in-between Season 2, filler thing that they're making, it's 4 episodes long or some bullshit. That thing, I believe, comes out today. Now, I'm considering subtitling and translating, and maybe, it might come out tomorrow, but either way, I just wanted to mention that if it's worth talking about, I will make a review for it, whether that be later today or tomorrow or whatever, so look forward to that. Anyways, this great episode of Dragon Ball Super, starting off with the technical aspects, let's get that out of the way. Art and animation really polished in this episode. The animation and art looked really good, really solid lighting, really solid effects. It just looked really good. The animation in this episode was really good. So, yeah, and the art was great as well. They really nailed the environment of the post-apocalypse. It doesn't look like anything special as far as an apocalypse goes, but they still nailed the environment and the atmosphere and the lighting and everything. So, all that stuff, really good. As far as pacing goes, the episode had a really good pace. It started off in the first half just sort of average pacing. It worked for what it needed to be. And in the second half, it got faster paced, which I think was a really good decision on their part. So, pacing on point as well. Don't really need to go into music and sound design and everything. Obviously, all that stuff is always on point. And in terms of story progression, Zamasu shows up. He is not Goku Black, so that's a pretty big reveal. I think it was kind of obvious he wasn't Goku Black specifically. I mean, there had to be a relation between the two. And him being Goku Black, you'd have to explain how he became Goku Black, but it could make sense. But them not being the same person also makes sense, and it opens up possibilities for explanations that we need. So, yeah, it was a good ending as far as setup goes. And the rest of the episode, it was Vegeta fighting him and losing. So there's a little bit of progression in terms of combat, because now Goku is engaged him in combat. So, decent story progression, nothing phenomenal, but it was pretty good. Mai and Trunks reunite. That was cool. So, yeah, that's the story progression. Nothing too crazy, but overall, the technical aspects of this episode are on point. So as far as the actual episode itself goes, I loved the first half, for different reasons than the second half. Like I said, they nailed the post-apocalypse, feel and environment and atmosphere and all that. But also, I liked seeing the heroes do things that aren't your standard hero stuff. I like scenes where the characters can be more humanized. Trunks comes in there and he makes silly faces for the girl and the boy and gets them cheered up, and Vegeta throws out the food, and it's nice seeing them do things like that. There was an episode of Young Justice. I think it was the first episode I gave an 11 out of 10. And this was not why I gave it an 11 out of 10. But it was cool seeing the characters take care of kids briefly. But still, it was there. And they had to do things that weren't just beat up the bad guy. I think one of them was telling them stories and stuff like that. And it was cool seeing Yajirobe also. And also, another example, in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I love the scene where he comes down with that kid, fixes his science fair project, and then walks him home. That was phenomenal. That was a great scene. So, yeah, I really like stuff like that. So it was cool seeing Vegeta and Trunks do that. And, yeah, I really like the first half. But the second half is where the meat of the episode is, obviously. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta versus Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. And Vegeta gets spanked. Now, I understand, Vegeta fanboys, I get it for this one. With Goku versus Frieza and Vegeta versus Frieza, no, that was straight up, that was fair. Goku came in with that time reverse. You guys are just too salty. Here, I can understand being a little bit salty because he got his ass beat pretty bad. But at the same time, to the Vegeta fanboys who are saying Vegeta's no longer badass in Dragon Ball Super, to the ones saying, oh, he's just a punching bag once again so Goku could steal the spotlight, I'm sorry, are we watching the same show? Because Vegeta got an epic moment against Beerus. He got, what else happened? He one-sidedly beat the shit out of Golden Frieza. He beat Frost, Magneta, and Kaba all in a row. Oh, but he lost a hit, so, he lost a hit, so obviously Vegeta's just a punching bag. All his badassness is ruined. He's awful. Hashtag make Vegeta badass again. Bullshit. But, I mean, we're not going to talk about when Android 18 beat the shit out of him. We're not going to talk about when he let Cell achieve perfect form and then Cell beat the shit out of him. We're not going to talk about when he thought he became a Super Saiyan and Frieza beat the shit out of him to the point where he cried. No, we're not. That's none of my business. We're not going to talk about all those times, I guess. Fuck all that, right? So yeah, it's Dragon Ball Super that ruined Vegeta, clearly. Well, whatever. Joking aside, it was a cool fight for what it was. Had some interesting proportions and some interesting dynamic poses. That's what I mean by proportions. You know, you kind of had Vegeta like swing his fist back, and it looked cool. It was good animation. It was Naoki Tate, one of Toei's best animators. Probably one of Japan's best, period. Well, I don't want to say that, because there are some pretty damn good animators in Japan. But as far as, like, a studio like Toei that works on a lot of weekly shows and stuff, he's definitely one of their best. And he did a good job in this episode. So, yeah, it was a good episode from an animation standpoint. The fighting was good. Choreography was pretty solid. Zamasu showing up. Vegeta getting his ass kicked. And Goku engaging him in combat. That was all pretty damn good stuff. It was all enjoyable and fun. So that's pretty much the episode. Now, the next episode preview has me hyped. And there's a reason why I'm hyped for the next episode preview. Now, I don't know for sure. I can't confirm. I only saw it for a half second. But during Goku, I mean, overall the animation for Goku versus Black looked good in the preview. It looked really, like, it was like really good animation. But there was a moment, it's like for a half second, Goku has like this facial reaction shot, and then you see Black, and he has like his hand, and he's got the sword, and he's shooting energy blasts. That looked like Naotoshi Shida animation. And if you guys don't know Naotoshi Shida, he's done what would be like recognizable stuff for him. He did, as far as Dragon Ball goes, he did in Battle of Gods, the movie, when Goku goes Super Saiyan, and him and Beerus are having that big fight in the clouds, and they're flying through dynamically. That was Naotoshi Shida. Oh, he did Luffy's fourth gear transformation in One Piece. He did other One Piece scenes too as well. He did like Rayleigh coming in and blocking Kizaru. He did a bunch of Whitebeard War stuff, like Ace being freed. He has a very distinct, incredible style that looks so awesome and so fluid, and it's just, he's an incredible animator, probably Toei's best. One of the best animators I've seen from any studio from the series I've watched personally, and he's just fantastic. So if he's finally doing a scene for Dragon Ball Super, that's going to be fucking awesome. As the kids would say, that would be lit. But again, I don't know if it's him. It was only for a half second, but it looked like his style. So if he is going to be animating in the next episode, that's awesome. I don't know why he wasn't doing anything for Dragon Ball Super before this. Maybe because of the really, really bad scheduling. You know, he couldn't, because his animation obviously takes a long time, so the scheduling might not have worked with him, and now finally they were able to get an episode where he could do something. But either way, it's going to be awesome tomorrow, because even if it's not him, it still looks like it's going to be a really well-animated episode. So, yeah, and I like the setup. It looks like it's going to be Trunks versus Zamasu. Zamasu, clearly not that powerful. Super Saiyan 2 Goku probably could have beat him, so we got Super Saiyan 2 Trunks over here. By the way, not a fan of how fucking strong they made Trunks in the Dragon Ball Super manga. Have you guys read that chapter where his like Super Saiyan 2 form was strong enough to compete with Goku's Super Saiyan 3 to the point where Goku had to go God mode for a second? That was... what the fuck was that? So anyways, total digression. But yeah, hopefully Trunks and him can have a good fight. Apparently Goku said something along the lines of, we can't hurt him in the preview, so I don't know what that's about. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, really fantastic episode. Kind of a long-winded review. I do apologize for that. Hopefully you watched the whole thing. But what did you guys think of this episode? I'd probably give it a solid like 8.5 out of 10 to 9. I thought it was a really great episode. But what did you guys think of this episode of Dragon Ball Super? You can tell me in the comments section below. You can follow me on Instagram or add me on PSN. I'm petplatypus on both. You can also give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, if you like what you've seen here. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.